Are you ready to embrace the best years of your life? Well, welcome to Boomers and Beyond, the podcast that celebrates the 55 plus community and everything this exciting chapter has to offer. Everyone, I'm your host, Antionette Blake, better known as the DE Diva, and every week I'll dive into topics that matters to us the most. From health and wellness, travel, family dynamics, finances, family, friends. We're going to explore them all. Going to have some good advice, but I'm going to ask for yours as well, because there'll be lively topics about aging vibrantly, building strong relationships, and guess what? Making the most of retirement. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea, even wine or juice, and settle in with me as we navigate this exciting world of boomers and beyond. And don't forget, subscribe to the show and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And share it with your family, your friends, your bae, and your boo too, because this conversation is all about you and me. So let's get started with Boomers and Beyond. Welcome to another episode of Boomers and Beyond. Now, you know, this is a podcast that's dedicated to enriching the lives of our vibrant 55 plus community. And I'm your host, Antionette Blake, better known as the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger. And today we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for many of us, the sandwich generation. Yep. Whether you're retired or still working, balancing care for an aging parent or parents and supporting adult children can be a unique challenge. So go grab a cup of coffee or tea and sit back and let's unpack this together. Now, let's start by defining what it means to be a part of the sandwich generation. Now, this term refers to individuals who find themselves squeezed between caring for their aging parents while still supporting their own children. And often adult children, they may be struggling to gain financial independence themselves. So it's a balancing act that can be both rewarding and exhausting. So let's talk about the challenges and the joys. So whether you're retired or not, being part of the sandwich generation comes with its own set of challenges and joys. From managing medical appointments and financial support to finding time for your own self-care. You know, the pressures can sometimes feel overwhelming, but it's also an opportunity to build a deeper connection with your loved ones, and you're providing them with invaluable support. And let's talk about a few of the tips for balancing care. You know, these are practical tips. So, how do you manage these responsibilities without losing yourself in the process? These are just a few practical tips. One, set boundaries. That's right. It's okay to say no. You can't be everything to everyone all of the time. The next thing you might want to think about is seek support. You might want to reach out to a local senior organization or utilize services that are offered by AARP. That is like a great gold mine of support networks. Number three, prioritize self-care. That's right. This is crucial. Make time for yourself, whether it's a hobby, exercise, or just a quiet moment with a good book. Self-care is important. And finally, number four, have conversations about future care needs and financial planning to avoid any last minute stress. So these are just some practical tips for balancing care. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. From my own personal experience, some of you that have known me for a while know that for 16 years, my grandmom lived with myself and my husband and my family. And also during that time, I had two sons. And our oldest was born prematurely, and he suffered from a lot of physical and mental disabilities. And that in itself was a whole nother ball of wax. But even though that time was stressful and strenuous and sometimes just crazy, with prayer, love, determination, our family stayed together. So I know what it's like. I'm not just speaking from something that I have no experience in, because that in itself taught me some invaluable lessons about resilience, the power of family, and the importance of self care. And I've talked to other people's too. I've talked to other people as well. I actually talked to this lady. I'm not even going to say her name, but she shared her experiences as a member of the sandwich generation. She said, she was working part time, taking care of her 85-year-old mother and supporting her son while he was in college. And, she talked about, the stress and how she managed it, church and family and friends. And of course, it's tough, but she made it through. So I made it through. She made it through. We can all make it through. Make sure that you get out and get some support. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. There are so many resources available to help you. Again, AARP, they provide a wealth of information and support for caregivers. Local senior centers can also offer respite care when you just need to get away, support groups and other essential services. These are tough times that we're in, and we cannot do it alone. On my blog, Boomers and Beyond, I have more articles, and I'm going to be providing more guides and, even personal stories that I have to help you in your journey being a member of the sandwich generation. So I know you're busy, got things going on. So I'm going to wrap this episode up. It's a beautiful day. And I want to remind you that being a part of the sandwich generation, even though it's not easy, with the right resources and support, you can manage the responsibilities while still enjoying your own life. So if you've been enjoying these episodes, these Saturday episodes, please make sure that you subscribe, share with your family and your friends, and check out my blog, Dell Blogger, for more information, and as well as the show notes and the information about these podcasts, because I want to be here for you. So thank you once again for joining me on Boomers and Beyond. And remember, if you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure you share with your family, your friends, your bae, and your boo too, which I like to say on my other podcast, which is Out and About with Antionette. That's where I'm interviewing people. So yes, share it with others that may need this information, because I love sharing information. And my blog, there's more information there, as well as the show notes to each of these episodes. So thank you for joining me on Boomers and Beyond. And until the next time, remember, you are not alone in this journey, and make sure you take care of yourselves. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware Blogger. I want to thank you all for tuning in today's episode of Boomers and Beyond. I hope you enjoyed the show. And don't forget, subscribe and leave a comment and share it with your friends. You can find me on all my social media platforms. And you know what? This podcast is on Apple and Spotify and Google and iHeart. They're all out there. Just ask for Boomers and Beyond. And if you have a question or a topic suggestion, send an email to me at ablake48@gmail.com. And if there's a topic that you want me to explore on this show, make sure you leave that as well. I'm also actively seeking sponsors who cater to the amazing 55 plus community. So if you have a business or a service that aligns with my listeners' interests, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email. You know how to do that. ablake48@gmail.com. Don't forget, join us next Saturday for another exciting episode packed with information and inspiration for living your best life after 55. Boomers and Beyond is hosted by Buzzsprout, and the music is by Mass O Beats from freetouse.com. See ya, it's the DE Diva.